everyone. Today I have with me Arnab in a very heart-to-heart conversation. And who is Arnab? Arnab is a engineer by accident and consultant by choice. I think he found his love there. And what Arnab also says is that India lost a great cricketer in him. It was left to his choice. Today, Arnab would have been a shining cricketer of India. Not just that, Arnab has lived and worked in multiple countries. He has held very demanding careers. And after traveling all over the world, finally, Arnab has settled in Bangalore. He is a Bengali by birth, but now Kannadiga, yet with a Bong accent. So that is how he likes to describe himself. Arnab, do you think I have missed out anything introducing you appropriately to the audience?
No, not at all, Ruma. You have covered it much better than I could. The only thing I would want to add is very high on life,
High
generally.
on life. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And when you say high on life, Arnab, what do you mean by that? If you could tell that a little bit more.
I don't know whether I live it every day, but I would want to live every moment of every day because I don't know when that day is going to end, right? So I better make use of what I have, creating something for the future, which I do not know what is coming and when it is coming. So
Living in the present.
living in the present, living a high life in the sense, do things that I enjoy, go out, meet friends, generally, figure out things that I connect to and find time to do that. So
Yeah, and that would be something that we would like to understand from you, Arnab. How do you manage your professional responsibilities as well as remaining high on life? So we will be addressing all of that. But Arnab, this really spiked my interest when you said that you are high on life. Were you always like this? Was your life always very smooth, where you were enjoying taking a lot of care of your personal aspirations, your health, your well-being, while being very high on your professional career as well? Was it always like this, or was there a shift somewhere?
I might give you a longer answer, Roma, to your short question. I always wanted to be high on life. Have I been that way? My answer is no. And I'll tell you why. I think I focused on one aspect of my life extremely hard at a point of time, which was my career, what I wanted to do in my professional life. I ignored my health. I ignored me for quite a long time, right? I thought I could manage it. I mean, I thought I was healthy. I was not. I thought I was managing my weight well, but I think internally I was burning out. So that aspect of life is something I did not manage well, to answer your question for sure.
I see. Sure. Thank you so much for sharing with that, Arnab. And that is one of the main focal point of our discussion also today. To let all our audience know, thank you so much for joining us today. A little bit more background about Arnab and why we are having this conversation today is Arnab was detected with fibromyalgia in the year 2011, and he suffered a massive heart attack in the year 2018. And from there on, Arnab had a major shift in his emotional, mental, and physical well being. And that is the journey we want to understand from Arnab. And it is our great desire that people who are listening to Arnab's story, we will all learn from Arnab's experience. So, with that, Arnab, let's get started. Arnab, just tell us, this 2011 detected with fibromyalgia, 2018 suffering a heart attack. Tell us a little bit about your life prior to getting detected with all of this.
As we have spoken to multiple times, right? I mean, think of a consultant, think of a busy corporate, think of people. I'm one of them. I now, if I look back, I feel who was busy. I'll give you 2011. I'll give you an example. 2011, when I filed my US taxes, they need the details of your travel and where and all. And I realized that I had made some 12 trips to Europe and 9 trips to US in one calendar year from India, right? Which means almost two long international trips a month. So, and then late nights, right? I mean, I would take pride in the fact saying that I sleep for 4 hours. I literally used to sleep at 3, wake up at 7, get on calls. Starting with APAC, Japan, ending with US. Saturdays, you're working, you're doing your reviews. Mostly will be in office or at a cafe in Lila Palace again. So I think it was finding business in my life and taking pride in that fact. I don't think I can justify anything, but it was as hectic a life as you can think of. And I'm sure a lot of people live that life. A lot of people I know are leading a very similar lives, right now.
Yes, absolutely. And while you were leading such a busy life, which you felt that you would like to think that you were busy, how was your focus on health? How did you feel your health was at that point in time?
I felt I was healthy. I felt I could do anything, right? Internally, that I was damaging myself is something I realized much later, Roma. So, and
Mhm.
again, you and I have spoken about it. I'll give you a little more history to this whole thing, right? And if that makes sense. So, I was born with tumors around my brain, and I don't want to delve into that subject because I don't remember anything. But if you sort of study a little bit of subconscious and what gets in, and when all your family, and literally I spent first 3 months on my mom's lap and my aunt's lap, taking turn 8 by 3 every day. I'm sure that gets into a subconscious, the feeling of whether this person will live or die, and I'm sure that gets ingrained, right, without you knowing, and that builds up. The cause of my fibromyalgia, as doctors say, it was 2006. I met with a bad accident. I was down almost for a year, completely down and out. All blood parameters that you can think of were all haywire. I was on BP meds, cholesterol, uric acid, blood sugar, anything and everything. And everyone said you cannot come out of it, right? This is now lifelong. So deal with it. You would not believe 1.5 to 2 years, I came out of everything except for lipid profile being high, which I deliberately stopped, which, by the way, triggered the 2018 event, right? And that's a separate story. But the muscular system surely got damaged. And I am sure it had a lot to do again with my mental state after the accident, right? Which
Hmm.
caused a lot of physical, this muscle pains, to the extent was so bad. And I visited multiple doctors in India and US, and they said at some point of time, think of quitting your job because you cannot do it much longer, right? Think of a
Mhm.
lifestyle where you will have rest, you would not be able to exercise, you will not be able to play, you will not be able to work, you will not be able to travel. And I think I mentally fought against it, right? Not physically, not by doing anything, but just by the sheer gut and sheer force. And then I think the resultant is 2018 when everything collapsed. So that's
Mhm.
my journey till 2018.
Okay. And what do you think, Arnab, were few of the primary drivers for, all of this one after the other? 2006 was an accident, so, some of these things are out of our control. But 2011, 2018 with fibromyalgia, heart attack, do you think any of the things that you did prior to 2011 led to these incidents? And if at all, what do you think were the drivers?
So, and again, in no particular order, Ruma, and I'm just trying to think as we speak. So one is absolutely I had no focus on health, right? Second is crazy hectic lifestyle. Third is food. I was never a foodie, but I eat anything and everything because I was on the road. Uh, Fourth, I'd say, is lack of sleep. The fifth aspect is even thinking that's an important part of your life was something which was totally missing, right? And you can take it in any particular order. So, absolutely paying no heed to things which are important, which are critical, which fundamentally define who you are at a point of time. And most of the times, I think we realize it very late in our lives, and then we are trying to make up for all the lost years.
Yes, yes. Now, there's no point in asking what would you have done differently because you already are aware of the things that went, that led up to this health crisis over 2011 and 2018. But Arnab, I really want to ask you. Today I see you as a healthy, fit young man. Yeah, and what after 2018? How did you take control of your life? Let's talk about after 2006. The accident to the 2018 heart attack. From there onwards, how did you really take full control of your health and be the person who is sitting here? And I'm having the privilege of talking to you.
Yeah, you should take a lot of credit, by the way you see me today. So, and I blindly went by, and I'll come to that. I blindly went by all your recommendations, Roman. It's paying absolutely enormous dividend to me, not only to me, people around who can see the difference because I am getting into sizes which are like 10, 15 years
Yes.
or earlier, right? So now to your specific question of what did I do since 2018, I think the first couple of years were more self-pity, more like denial, more that, why did it happen to me? I do my blood test every year. There were no signs or signals. I mean, they didn't have any heart issues per se, right? So why did it happen to me? And I thought I've been living a very active life, though the activities were only around how busy I was with my work. At some point then is when I started realizing that I know so much about everything that's around me. I
Mhm.
spent so much time in reading the newspaper and listening to the news and all the which I've stopped, and that's a separate episode again. Knowing about what's happening outside, I don't even know 1% of what's me or what's within me. And that started shifting my mindset. I tried to push myself to say, do I know myself at all? Do I know how my body works? Do I know how I behave, how I react, how I consume information, how I look at people, how do I process emotion, what thoughts get triggered, how do I control my thought? I mean, it was absolutely an open slate where I started. Given my engineering and science background, everything needs a logic. So I was trying to find logic. I spent about a year's time over trying to find logic, right?
Yeah.
Why should I do what I want to do, right?
Mhm.
So though I knew what I needed to do, I was trying to figure out why this, why that. Long story short, I spent up reading a lot of articles on quantum physics, its relationship to consciousness and your energy body, your physiological body, your physical body, blah blah blah. Started getting me hooked on is there's a lot of at some point of time, science and spirituality for me started merging, started getting together.
Mhm.
And then at very difficult situations, I'll find that very simple things like breathing well would help me, right? I'd be in control, like. So that's where I started. And then I started, we have a family guruji for long, 1998. I've been meeting him every year. He
Mhm.
jokes that here comes the non-believer, right? And we have lot of discussions around, and I the reason I like him is he never pushed me in this 20
Mhm.
25 years to say, this is what you should do, this is what you should believe. But he would talk about meditation, he would talk about getting control of yourself, he would talk about controlling your thoughts, yeah, right? And then I started with breathing and then meditation, and then figure out physiologically how my body is reacting, your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems, etc., etc. And I can tell you now, after having worked with you for all these months, that I was plain simple lazy, that I would do things which could be done easily, and I was
Uh-huh.
trying to avoid the physical part of the body, which you really pushed me well and pushed me hard to get into that rhythm of your daily exercises and focusing on the right part of the body and doing the right things and eating well. So to me, to your question, I think all those things, the physical, physiological, and spiritual energy aspects, I think for me are coming together. Am I there? I don't think I have done even 1%. Long way to go. So I am absolutely not declaring victory. It's just the start of the journey. But I am giving myself some milestones of, where do I see myself in 3, where do I see myself in 5. And as I told you, I want to wake up tomorrow and feel good about who I am and what I do. So
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so apt. And it is a journey, Arnab. We are, since there is the target of excellence, we continue to work towards it. And if we reach it, I mean, that's great. But if we don't, the journey itself is so beautiful
yeah,
that it uncovers so many aspects of us. Like you said, the physical aspect of us, and correctly said, I'll also share a personal experience with you. So for the last few weeks, I've been confined only to do non-impact exercises, and I can only go for a walk. Now, after completing 10,000 steps, I do not sweat as much as the 15 minutes of the exercises that we do, the workout ABC. Yeah, and I
yeah,
started doing that from last Sunday. 15 minutes, I was sweating all over. And
yeah,
that is also a realization how our body works. We feel
right.
we become more and more aware of our body. So amazing points that you brought in. And I'm taking you back to the practices that you started doing, merging spirituality, merging energy with science, and finding logic and how spirituality and science comes together. By the end of the day, we are all starting to learn that West and East are actually saying things which are merging together. So all of those are getting more and more prominence nowadays. But what I wanted to understand from you, Arnav, is what are the specific benefits, if you can, tangible benefits? You being an engineer, you're looking for tangible results, right? So what are the tangible benefits that you saw when you started getting into meditation, breathing, you started thinking about your thoughts, thinking about your emotions, what kind of changes they do on your body, how it impacts your life? Can you shed some more light on that? What was your experience? What were the results you started experiencing after getting into that line? Yeah.
Yeah. And Ruma, I'll cover maybe the physical part and then the energy part, right? All of it together. And again, in no
Sure.
particular order. But I'll
Sure.
give you some very, very quantifiable changes that I have seen. right? So I was detected with the self-immune disease, and I think at the age of 14, I'll get these allergic attacks very regularly and rashes and cold and cough and every time. And I was almost on two allergic pills every day, two anti-allergic pills every day. Completely stopped for the last 1 year. I've not taken a single one. 2011 fibromyalgia, and I'll have these bouts of pain where I'll completely collapse, right? And there are days I could not just get up from bed and I'm like, this is the end of the world. I have not had that in the last 1 or 2 years. There has not been a day where I have said that I can't get up now, right?
Wow.
There have been
Wow.
needles pains, but I have been up. I was put on a nerve blocker since 2011 to
Mhm.
block the pain, right? That's the only med you can have. I've stopped that med for the last 1 year. I've not had, I can show you strips which are lying in my cupboard. I've not had a single one.
That's amazing, Arnab.
I have been on a sleeping pill from 2006 every day. With the sleeping pill, I could sleep for 4 to 5 hours. I have not had a single sleeping pill for the last 1 year, and I sleep. You see my sleeping record, right? I
Yes.
sleep for 7 to 8 hours well these days. So
Amazing.
you wanted quantifiable benefits. I'm quantifying it myself, and as I told you, I'm fitting into my t-shirts, which are like 12 years old. I mean, jokes apart, I have lost a
Need a
lot
new
of weight.
wardrobe, Arnab.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I've lost a lot of weight. I feel much fitter. I don't need to push myself to exercise. I feel like walking up the stairs rather than taking the elevator. And I feel like, talking to people about what I'm seeing happen to me.
Amazing, amazing, Arnab. Yes, it's very inspiring. But again, Arnab, I know that you travel quite a bit. We kind of talk about your schedule. You travel quite a bit. You still have late night calls because you are in consulting, which is quite demanding. How do you manage to be high on life with your busy schedule? If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could share that.
And very intriguing question, Roma. So you'll have to bear with me because I'll keep on thinking and talking both at
Sure.
the same time, right? Because I never thought of it this way, the way you ask it. I think number one, getting your mind to agree to it is important. My biggest challenge was getting my mind aligned with what I wanted to do, that these
Mhm.
things are important for me. Otherwise, I'll always find an excuse saying that why I work, I have a call, I need to travel, XYZ reasons for why I can't, eat well, why I can't sleep well, why I can't exercise well, right? And I don't think anyone externally can help much unless we internalize it ourselves. I think that was one big shift, right?
Mhm.
Now, to your point of how do I manage it, I have started living a lot more in present. So I'll give you very naive corporate examples. Most of the time I feel people who are on this call right now are thinking of the next call and the next deliverable, right? And when you get them to the next call, they are thinking of the next call and the next deliverable. We
So,
are never focused on what we have on hand and do that well. What I have learned is, so I'll get off my calls maybe at 10:30, 11 in the night, but then I'll be on my emails on my laptop till 1, and then I'll watch news for an hour till 2, and then I've lost my sleep, so I'll go around my bed and then disturb sleep. I'll wake up early and again get back to my laptop. I've figured out time windows during the day where I focus on my emails. I
mhm.
focus on the calls and the interaction that I have, absolutely being in the present, so that I can actually drive value for whatever the call is set up. And I'm
Mhm.
not again coming back to it and revisiting it every time. So managing time well, giving importance to what is important to me.
Mhm.
And then I have dropped a lot of this, busy noise in my day-to-day schedule, right? Things which
Mhm.
are unimportant, things which do not add value, things which I
Ah,
do just because of habit and practice. Very, very naive example. There are a lot of reading that you would do just to feel relevant in a social gathering. What
uh-huh.
if I cannot talk on a topic? How do I care, right? If that
Yes.
topic does not interest me, I'll not get into it.
Uh-huh.
So I had stopped reading, and now you and I exchange. I have started, reading back again, and that gives me a lot of pleasure. So
Yes.
right, weekend figuring out spending time with friends, spending time with family, right? Having dinner together and being in that dinner with my
Yes.
daughter. I don't use my phone when I'm sitting with my daughter, even if it's 30 minutes to 3 hours. I don't open my phone at all. So those simple things, but I think scheduling, being in the present, figuring out what's important, what's critical, what's relevant for you, what things that you relate to, and then focusing on those. And I think work is important, health is important. And I keep on saying I hope my corporate friends are not listening to it. And even if they listen, they know me
Yes.
well. They know me
Absolutely.
well. I'm like, if something happens to me tomorrow, my firm will not miss me for more than 2 days, but my family will miss me forever, right?
Yes.
So, and then no one will take care of myself more than I do.
I
So,
can. Absolutely. So true, Arnab. And in order to come to this level where you said, managing your time better and focusing on priority at hand and being completely focused on what you are doing at that point in time, not thinking about what I have to do next. Did you also find yourself in a situation where you had to say a lot of no's to people?
yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Very good point. I completely forgot. And I think Indians by nature, we are the pleasing, soothing characters. What will happen if I say no? That person will feel bad. We don't even realize that we'll feel worse at the end of it. Right?
Yes.
So absolutely, I've started getting more selfish. I've
Okay.
absolutely started saying no to things which
Uh-huh.
are not important to me or not important to the scheme of things.
Wonderful. No, thanks so much for accepting that, Arnab. Now, just, and as you said, Indians by nature, and I used to think this was a problem with women. Thank you for, breaking that myth that it is with men as well. That, when we want to say no, we are really worried about not about ourselves, but about the other people. How, when you started saying no, how did things start changing around you? Or where was everybody too comfortable and it was us who think more about it than the other person? Tell me your perspective and your insights, Arnav.
Yeah, and I think it's a mixed one. So number one, people are used to your rhythm too, right? Over a period of time. So people know that you will receive their call irrespective of whatever time they call you. Now, first two times when you do not take that call at 6:30 a.m. or 11:30 p.m., maybe they will be wondering what happened to you. But I think after three calls and you have a clear conversation that, yeah, I mean, from 11 to 8, my phone is shut off. I think they get used to it. Like I'm very clear that don't schedule any calls for me because I go late in the evening. Don't schedule any calls for me before 10 a.m. in the morning. And
Huh.
people have
Okay.
gotten used to, I mean, don't mess up both the ends of my day, right?
Hmm.
I need the morning to myself. I'm then available for you. And people have gotten used to the rhythm unless until things are, falling apart and the city is absolutely vanishing, right? So I think the primary important factor is you setting the right expectations with your stakeholders. We do not do that well. If we
Yes.
do that well, then people get used to your rhythm.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, and I'm hoping that this will break the fear in many people that what will happen and which are the feathers I'm going to ruffle, if I say no. So thank you so much for helping us with that, Anu. Now, Anu, can you give a understanding of how your day looks like, from morning till night, from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed? How does your day look like?
That's a tricky question. So I do end up traveling once a week. I have reduced it, right? I am trying to do about three travels a month, but previously it used to be much more. I think COVID has helped. People have gotten used to this virtual working mode.
Uh-huh.
So that surely has helped. I do not travel internationally unless I need to. So I say I'm ready to take a call all through the night and be on video because
Mhm.
that messes up one day. If I travel, that messes up a whole week for me.
Yeah.
Right. So all those changes I'm trying to bring in. How my day looks, I wake up. I mean, I try and wake up. I used to be a very late riser, by the way. That I have changed. And you know
Okay.
that. So it's
When you
somewhere
say
in
late,
between.
how late it is, just to understand, we
Oh,
modern people.
so I as I told you, I'll sleep around 2 or 3 a.m. Right, but I'll be in bed till 8:30, which I have moved up at least by 2 or 3 hours. I sleep a little longer, but I try and wake up in the morning. The first couple of things I do not compromise are my breathing and my meditation. Right, I
Okay.
need that 45 minutes to myself. Otherwise, I don't feel I get into the groove. I think Rebi will vouch for me that I follow the exercise schedule for sure. Unless until I'm sick, Roma, I don't
Yes.
miss it. Or if there's an early morning meeting, I come back and I do it in the evening. Though it's hybrid for all of us, I love going to office. So I love driving down in Bangalore traffic. People will not believe, but that's my me time. I do a lot of thinking and processing and generally, I mean, listening to music, giving two calls to a friend, calling my mom. We don't talk much, but just silence is golden
Yeah.
for those moments. So I use that me time for me. I think my wife and I end up talking when we are on the road more than when in at home.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then I'm in office at least for 6 to 7 hours. I do a lot of up and down, right? Eating, going out, getting some sunlight, stairs as much as I can, meeting with people that makes me high again. I derive a lot of energy by just meeting with people, known and unknown. I try and come back home by 5.
Okay.
uh, 5:30 to 7, again, I try to keep it to myself, be it your rhythm of getting the cardio done, getting my walk, or spending time with daughter, or just watching some TV or reading a book. 7 to 10 or 11 are my calls. I do dinner between 7 and 8.
Mhm.
uh, I just take maybe 15-20 minutes to get into the groove, or to get out of the groove of my work habit. And then nowadays I hit bed, and in 5 minutes
You're done.
I'm done. I'm in deep sleep.
Amazing, amazing. So
Yeah.
when do you do your exercise? I think between 5 and 7, I found one slot where you do
So
your
that is the cardio. What I do, I do my exercise in the morning before so I do my breathing meditation,
exercises.
exercises, then I get ready and leave for office.
Awesome, awesome. So how long does that entire,
I give myself 1.5 hours to 2 hours in the morning.
1.5 to 2 hours? Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing. That's
And that keeps my other 18 hours going, or 16 hours going, right? With a lot
yes,
of energy. If I do not spend that, then I am productive maybe for 6 to 8 hours in the day.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Arnab, and then you travel also, right?
Yeah,
And
I
how do you
travel.
manage all of this when you're traveling?
So I absolutely follow the same routine. I do not compromise on the breathing, meditation, exercises. I'll figure out a time. I may not be able to do both ends, but I absolutely pick up one 45-minute window during the day wherever I am. And if nothing, I'll hit the gym and walk and do a little bit of running. And most of the exercises that you prescribe are freehand. I can easily do it in my hotel room, and
Yeah.
so I
And
do
that's
it.
what we tell people, that we have taken away all your excuses. You don't
Yeah,
need to go to the
yeah,
gym.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't need to
Totally.
carry any equipment. Then you should be able to exercise whether you're in Timbuktu, whether you're in Bangalore, whether you're in the US, does not matter. Even in the
True.
airport, if some people as shameless as me, even those people can also catch up on their exercises,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You just need one corner to yourself, few push-ups, one plank, and few squats. I mean, it can be done in an airport as well. So,
Absolutely. I'll give you one. I mean, one thing I remember, Ruma,
yes.
previously when I travel for 3 days a week, I'll have free dinner scheduled with someone, right? With some group, some team. I have found that that does not add too much value to me. The moment
Mm.
I skip that, not only I'm eating healthy, but I'm gaining 3 hours in those evenings for myself,
Yes, absolutely,
right? Now,
absolutely.
am I making people feel bad? I don't know. I do take them out for lunch, not for
Uh-huh.
dinner.
Hmm.
I don't drink, so I don't care whether I'm going out to a bar in the evening. If
Yes.
I need to listen to music, I can play it on my own. So all I'm saying is I've cut out those unnecessary things in my life.
Amazing. And you bring up a very interesting point. I thought that my questions were done, but now that you brought in a interesting point, tell us about social drinking. So many people think that if they are out with friends, that is one way of enjoying. And I and you belong to the same school. We say no to alcohol. Please share with the audience, please share with me, how do you manage such kind of situation where everybody around you is on alcohol? They want you to have a good time because their thought of having a good time is alcohol. How do you manage those situations, Arnav?
Yeah, yeah. So number one, not that I never was a social drinker, but I never enjoyed, right? I never found it tasty.
Uh-huh.
That's not something I'll crave for. So I think it was easy for me to walk away. On a lighter note, I think it's much more fun and enjoyable to be high on water and enjoy other people who are high on alcohol, right? So I have so many stories to tell people that oh my god, did you know what you did last night, right? So man, that's intoxicating for me to have that experience. And again, I think it's a matter of setting expectation. People know, my social circle know, if I'm in a very unknown gathering, I absolutely call that out, that I'll absolutely give you company, but with a bottle of water. I think people understand totally. And most of the people in the world are fairly health conscious, so they know that there are practices that each one believes in.
Absolutely. I think end of the day, it all boils down to, setting my own boundaries and
Yeah,
expectations. This is what
yeah,
I do and this is what I don't do. Take me
yeah,
as I am or leave me,
totally,
So it's just
totally.
It's how I am. So wonderful. And it does, I understand at some point in time, like you said, Arno, we always want to be so nice and so accepted by people that we want to give in and we want to say yes. But if in certain cases we say no, then really, people still continue to love us and
Yeah,
accept us.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just,
And we keep on conforming to what we believe in our head are social norms or right get together norms or
yes.
cultural norms. I mean, like, let me question these norms, right?
Yeah.
Does it benefit me at all? If it does not, then why should I?
Why should I? Absolutely. The blueprints that we want to continue to abide by. So, absolutely. Great points. Arnav, thank you so much. It was so enlightening to hear about your journey, what you went through, and from zero health to a 180-degree shift towards full on health, full on life. It was a great learning experience for me, and I'm sure the audience is also appreciating because you covered a lot of things, right? How not doing something can drive certain health situation, and even if we get into a health situation, how to overcome and come out of that completely. You have taken us through the entire journey. It was such a lovely experience talking to you today, Arnav.
No, so thank you so much, Ruma. Let me take this moment. So thank you so much. You, Bibi, Ashmin, the entire Navitai team. So very approachable, always there. I think initially they kept on pushing me, right? So have you done this? Have you done that? Are you facing a difficulty? Can you get on a call? Tell us where you are challenged. I'm like, I don't have answers to so many questions. Let me go and do what I need to do. Right. At least they will see the dashboard and be happy that I'm not skipping anything. So but let me confess now that had I not seen you and had I not known you and had I not known the focus, and we started talking about spirituality, we started talking about energy, remember over that lunch.
Yes.
And then, had you not been there, and I'm being very, very sincere when I say this, I don't think I would have gotten focused on my physical being or the physical part of me. Thank you for pushing me there.
Thank you so much, Arnav. It has been a real honor to be a part of this journey, honestly, and I say that from the deepest part of my heart. And to see you, how you have evolved through the various conditions you had, and today where you are. And then we go back to the same gatherings, and people compliment you. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sit there while the compliments are meant for you. I sit there and I bask in the glory of those compliments.
Totally, totally. You should take all the credit. Absolutely.
The credit goes to you, Arnab. It was just a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this beautiful journey with you. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. All
Thank
right.
you
So
so
with
much.
that, thank you so much. And to the audience as well, I hope you found this very, very, it covered the aspects of your life that you're going through. If you have any questions, put it in the comment box and we will be happy to answer it for you. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you for watching us. Take care and bye bye.